Hey people. So uh I'm giving you another early morning post because I woke up with just ideas buzzing, and posting my video from yesterday was kind of a big step. I'd been sort of like I'd had it in my mind for a couple weeks that I was going to do a post where I perform a piece and make the performance specifically about what's going on internally and the kind of mindset. And so any of you who watched that, that's what you saw yesterday, was me basically like going into a performance and putting my focus on where am I in terms of my own heart set. Where's my heart in this? Where's my mind? Is the music coming through me, or am I chasing it? Am I performing? Am I doing it right for other people, or am I discovering the piece? And it was just like kind of an explosion. I sort of like, there was a moment, again, if you saw the video, you might have noticed there's a moment right in the beginning of the piece. It's right after the theme comes in F sharp major, bam, and you get, I made a mistake. I played a chord that was wrong. Now, luckily, it was over it was over a sharp 9 chord, so it was a kind of a dissonant chord even when it's played correctly, so it wasn't really noticeable. But I played that chord, and I thought to myself, should I start over? And then I was like, no, that's cheating. Like literally that would be defeating the entire purpose of this exercise. So I was like, no, and I just kept playing. And then that, if you saw the video, I'm sure that there's plenty of mistakes in that, and there's plenty of places where I wish I'd played it slightly cleaner, slightly better, whatever. But what I noticed was, especially making it over the hump of that first mistake, it was close enough to the beginning that like my mind could have convinced me, oh, you should just start over. You just started. Like, you can just get a clean start. And by not doing that, several things happened. One, I adjusted to future mistakes in the piece much more easily. Like, I was not gonna like try and correct them. That was kind of the point of the whole thing. And again, it's like this tug of war in my mind between like a very habitual mindset of performing and wanting to be perfect, wanting it to be right, and another mindset that's just so much more spacious and generous and honest, where I'm literally, every time I make a mistake, I'm just opening the window into that, letting someone else see the mistake, see my failure, if you want to call it that, and allow that to be okay, allow that to be wonderful, part of the exploration, a gift, a thank you. I've been telling my students, when you make a mistake, you should say thank you. And there's this beautiful, there's a beautiful kind of serendipity that I'll tell you about in a minute. But what I noticed from that experience yesterday was, then I finished the piece and I was like, well, should I post it? Was it good enough? And I was like, again, post the video. Like, this is it. Be visible. Don't edit it. Don't get it. Don't do another pass and pick the best one. Come on. Let's be real about what I'm doing here. So I posted it, and then a really interesting thing happened, which is like in reflecting on it, I realized that because I had not tried to hide my mistakes, I had not tried to hide from them, and I had not tried to hide them from the audience. I was opening the window. What I found was, I remember every single mistake with like photographic memory clarity. Like, I remember exactly what happened, exactly which little slips took place. Now, that's amazing if I'm going to go and continue to refine the piece. So it's almost like, by being grateful, by being open to the idea that the mistakes are not mistakes, that the mistakes are just part of a discovery, I was able to actually receive them. I didn't like do the thing of looking away and pretending they're not there, and hoping that nobody else sees them. I actually just looked right at them and through them and saw the experience and had the experience of seeing them. And so like now I have this amazing roadmap of what to work on in the piece. So that was one really cool thing that happened. I found that my attention was just so heightened because of the fact that I wasn't blocking anything out. And the thing I wanted to tell you about this beautiful serendipity is, so I watched a movie yesterday, finished it yesterday. I'd watched the other half, the first half a while ago. It was called Spirited Away, and it's this movie from the 90s. It was a amazing Hayao Miyazaki animated film that won Best Picture in like 1997 or something. And one of my piano students is obsessed with it, right? She's like 16 years old. She watches it, as far as I can tell, she watches it 4 times a week. And there's a moment at the very end, and this is the student with whom I was working when I first had the idea to say to her, every time you make a mistake, say thank you. Every time you make a mistake, just notice it and say thank you, and treat it like a discovery. Treat it like a little gold nugget that you just found. Every mistake is a little gold nugget, and you're constantly scattering gold nuggets on the piano. So pick them up and look at them and notice them and be grateful for them. And then I'm watching this movie yesterday, and it's all about this female protagonist. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but it's like basically this story of a girl who goes and gets sort of like inadvertently enters a spirit world, and her parents turn into pigs, and then she goes through this whole long kind of hero's journey thing, and it's a spectacular movie, really, really beautiful, so many gorgeous metaphors. And at the end of the movie, there's a witch who's been she's been casting the spells and keeping everybody enslaved and all this stuff, and the girl finally passes the final test. And she turns to the witch, and in like perfect, kind of iconic Japanese fashion, she bows to the witch and says thank you to her adversary, to the person who's been her problem the entire time. And I was like, isn't that hilarious? Like, not only that I was getting this message through this movie, which was so beautiful, but also that the student with whom I came up with this idea is obsessed with this movie, where that's kind of like a through line of just like the idea of gratitude for our adversity. Anyway, so that all kind of hit me last night. It was all kind of a big collision of realization around how positive that is, how positive things the work can be when we're actually just like letting it all in. We're actually just letting ourselves see and letting what's truly there be there, and being grateful for it. So that's where I am today, folks. I'm grateful for you. Thank you to anyone who's watching these. I truly, truly, truly love that you're receiving this and taking the time to consider these thoughts and ideas and some music with me as well. So much love to you all. See you again very soon.